tough road trip along the Monongahela against Bob Lilly and the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Ryan Martin and Loudoun United return home to Segra Field in search of their first win here in their new home in Leesburg, Virginia, against the hottest side in the Eastern Conference in Birmingham Legion FC in what should be a terrific 90 minutes. And tonight's broadcast is brought to you by the Loudoun Chamber. Tyler Terrens, sitting 2.5 centimeters to my right, is none other than Ryan Davis. And Ryan, when we take a look at these two sides and the last team that they met, it was all the way back on April 27th, and it was actually what ended up being the first home win for Birmingham Legion in their inaugural season. It was a good effort from Loudoun United, but Prosper Kasim, it had to be 94th minute game winner.
Well, what was a great defensive effort by this Loudoun FC United team for 94 minutes. But Prosper Kasim shows up and puts the cream on top of the pie for Birmingham Legion with a beautiful finish with his left foot. All 3 points in the bag for this Legion FC team.
And that's the only way that you can celebrate the first home win in your first season. Take off the shirt and just let it run wild. Meanwhile, for Loudoun United, they've stumbled in their last 3 games, have not picked up a point since their opening game here at Segra Field against the Charlotte Independents. They're looking to the 22-year-old to shore things up in the middle of the field.
Well, Antonio Bustamante, even though he's 22 years old, plays like a veteran. He's a deep-lying playmaker. He has created 29 chances thus far this season, already 3 assists. He creates the rhythm and he creates the flow for this young Loudoun team. He is undroppable for Coach Ryan Martin.
And we've already talked about Prosper Kasim and what he's done, obviously, at the beginning of the season and that 1-0 win over Loudoun United back on April 27th. But he's been unbelievable in this great run of form. 8 matches unbeaten for Birmingham. He's been right in the middle of all of it.
Well, with the informed Eddie Opoku out tonight, Prosper Kasim is set up to take over this game. He can create chances from the wing using his speed and dribble, but he can also come inside, use his deft touch, and finish in the 18-yard box. 5 goals, leads the team. He is instant offense for this Birmingham Legion team.
Another 22-year-old with a massive future ahead of him has made features for the likes of Ghana U20's side. And he is going to be mighty important for Birmingham Legion if they are going to continue this fine run of form. They have not suffered a loss since back on June 29th against the Riverhounds. Loudoun United looking for the first win here at Segra. It's all coming your way next. Almost ready for kickoff here at Segra Field between Loudoun United and Birmingham Legion FC. Birmingham, probably one of the hottest teams in the USL Championship, with the exception of Phoenix Rising FC, looking to make it 7 wins out of 8. Loudoun United desperate to get back on the winning track. And we'll take a look at the starting 11 for both sides, beginning with the home side and Loudoun United. And the starting lineups are brought to you by the National Conference Center. For Loudoun United, of course, there's going to be a lot of things changed up in their previous game against the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, in which they fell 1-0 against Bob Lilly. And the River Rhinos, Kyle Murphy is going to be getting the start up top in the number 9 role. Andrew Loudoun and Sorto will be out on the wings. Griffin Yao unavailable and is day-to-day with a lower leg injury. Orlando Sinclair will be playing in the number 10. It'll be the 16-year-old Jacob Green getting the start out the outside back position. Colin Verfurth and Donovan Pines holding it down in front of Callie Brown, who's the starter in between the sticks for Ryan Martin, who took over in the middle of the season for Richie Williams. Let's take a look at Birmingham Legion FC, and a side that has not suffered a defeat since back in late June. It's going to be J.J. Williams, Brian Wright, and Femi Hollinger-Jansen up top. And it's going to be the likes of Johnson, Asiedu, and Kasim in the middle of the park. A team that liked to sport a 4-4-2 diamond at the beginning of the year, but recently, Ryan, as you've been able to attest to, especially against the Tampa Bay Rowdies, a team that you're all too familiar with, they've started to maybe lie things a bit deeper in the middle of the park and then just look to hit teams on the counter. But before we get into that, let's take a look at the Ortho Virginia injury report. And for Birmingham Legion, they have a number of players injured as well as suspended. No injuries to report of for Loudoun United, with the exception of Griffin Yao, who is day-to-day. And away we go from Segra Field. Buckle up, we invite you to turn off the world and turn on the game. Should be an excellent 90 minutes. Plenty of playoff implications, excuse me, a lot of P's there for Birmingham Legion FC. And right off the bat, Loudoun United going to keep the ball. Side that likes to be in possession more times than not. You'll be hard-pressed to find sides that are willing to give the ball away, but we do see it sometimes in modern football. But this is a Loudoun group that is really desperate to just get their first win here at Segra. And talking to Ryan Martin, he said, well, it's been a little bit tricky to move into their new home because they were moving back and forth, as this ball almost is going to sneak through for Sorto, and he's going to call for the foul. And a free kick coming the other way for Birmingham Legion FC. But Ryan, a little bit on this new formation for Birmingham and what you see out of it.
Well, Birmingham are going to stay compact in the middle of the park, and they're going to sit a little bit more deeper behind that half line, talking about midfield and back four. But as a result of that, when the play does break up from players like Asiedu, who's such a disruptor, and we're going to touch on him, they get to counter with their young players like J.J. Williams and Prosper Kasim. And as a result, has caused team fits and found ways to create chances as a result of those counterattacks. Now, we see this Loudoun FC team love to possess the ball. Everybody wants to get on the ball. Ryan Martin has created a culture of total soccer in this young Loudoun team. Now that kind of plays into the hands of this Birmingham team, where they would like to allow you to have the ball and then counter with a mistake.
This is a side that went not only unbeaten, but didn't concede a goal over the stretch of 6 matches. Finally had it broken up, that ridiculous clean sheet streak against the Bethlehem Steel. That game was at Talent Energy, and the game-winning goal coming from Mikey Lopez in the 76th. Both teams finishing with 9 players after 4 red cards, whether they be straight or double yellows, were shown over the course of 90 minutes. As this ball goes out wide, Kyle Culbertson able to get there. Delivery doesn't get past the first defender.
Well, we talk about Asiedu and the way he disrupts plays, but no one really wants to talk about his passing ability. He can also create from that deep position, has the ability to find that open pass when under pressure, which most center midfielders have.
Sorto just dinks it over the top, asking a lot out of Kyle Murphy, but well played along the back line by Mitsu Laurent. Ryan Davis, you really like him. You're talking a lot about his talent off air.
I mean, Laurent, just at that center-back position, just so composed, but also very physical. Always willing to use his body and excellent in the air as well.
Here's J.J. Williams playing it through. Brian Wright onside, and a terrific challenge from Connor Presley. And then another challenge in the box, and it's going to come out the other way as Brian Wright was trying to win it back, but the former Vermont Catamount appeared to be in, but Connor Presley swoops into the rescue for Loudoun United.
Well, J.J. Williams is not only a big striker, he can also create chances too. Lovely little through ball to Brian Wright. His first touch let him down. As a result, an excellent tackle by Connor Presley. And a great bit of defensive play by Loudoun FC.
Sorto wins it back for Loudoun United. Very open pace to this game in the opening 3.5 minutes or so. Sorto plays it across, but it was just a touch behind Andrew Loudoun, and now here comes Birmingham Legion on the other end. Prosper Kasim is going to put the brakes on, and Daniel Johnson, the 23-year-old from Duluth, Georgia, will slow it up as well.
Just look at Daniel Johnson's ball handling ability, number 14. Such a joy to watch. especially when you get to the last third and it gets really crowded. You can just blow past players or just hold up the possession so nicely.
J.J. Williams. Ryan Martin encouraging Connor Presley to move forward, and he's doing so with a lot of purpose, and touches one a bit too far in front of Orlando Sinclair.
Well, the young Connor Presley fits in with this young mindset. Any sort of open space, they attack it. And Loudoun FC, being such a young team, is also a very exciting team to watch.
Look at Tom Sohn there in charge of this inaugural side that didn't start out too hot, but boy, if they heat up and just at the right time. And if Phoenix Rising FC hadn't just won their 16th straight game over in the Western Conference, I think it'd be pretty fair to say that Birmingham is the hottest team in the league at the moment, but definitely the hottest team in the Eastern Conference. Donovan Pines getting himself into a little bit of trouble there.
Yes, 6 wins and 1 draw on a 7-game stretch. Brought them right back into the playoff discussion. What a run.
Well, it's Loudoun United on the run. Loudoun touches it back, but a little bit too close to the likes of Keem Ward over on the far side. Kasim pressuring Donovan Pines, but it goes back for Callie Brown.
See the forwards like Wright and Kasim pushing right up on that back line. But then there's a bit of a drop-off between the midfield and the back four.
Sinclair out wide for Presley, Texas native. Bending one in, it's a good ball, and it's just out of the reach of Kyle Murphy. That was a teasing ball into the corridor of uncertainty. It'll go to Birmingham, but great football from Loudoun United.
Well, what a peach of a cross by Connor Presley. Sinclair started it, just bended it around the left back. And, oh, Kyle Murphy just almost got a toe to it. But Connor Presley, what high potential right back he's turned out to be for this Loudoun FC team.
And it was interesting talking to Ryan Martin about Connor Presley, because he said he's probably a little bit too attacking minded for the outside back position, but that's exactly what they want in this organization, is for their outside backs to really get forward and get involved in the attack, and that's just more and more becoming the norm for outside backs in the modern game.
Well, he has also delved in the midfield positions in his earlier career, so comfortable going forward, so willing to cross when he gets into those positions. And yes, the grades are being marked highly on the wing backs in their ability to cross the ball and provide service in the last third.
Earlier in his career, at 20 years of age.
It's all relative, right?
Yes. Connor Presley, of course, was with San Antonio FC from 2017 to 2018. Had trials in Europe with the Belarus side, as well as playing for non-league Nastel Miners Welfare. Matt Van Oekel sends it away. 8 clean sheets to his name this season.
Such a tale of two different tales between these two teams. We have the young Loudoun FC team here, and we have a very much a veteran Birmingham team where players want to get on the ball. Oh, great tackle.
Connor Presley atoning for his sins as he gave the ball away off a poor first touch, as Daniel Johnson was giving him a lot to handle. Into the path of Andrew Loudoun. Sinclair trying to go back for Presley. He's going to run out of real estate, though, and good cover from Kyle Culbertson.
Great run by Presley, but heavy touch by Sinclair. Just shows the movement by this Loudoun FC team. So willing to go forward, so willing to make the forward pass. Not allowing Birmingham to settle defensively.
Tom Sohn, of course, has a lot of Major League Soccer experience, most recently seen with New England Revolution as not only their assistant, but their interim, as well as the Vancouver Whitecaps, DC United, list goes on and on. Here's Donovan Pines getting the start. It's usually Harry Hawkins and Colin Verfurth paired up, but it's Pines getting the start tonight. Presley again, they're just hammering this right wing at the moment.
Connor Presley is just so confident on that ball.
Alvarez, a long ball towards the back post, hoping that Sorto's going to be able to get there. He wins the header. Although they go over the line and out of play. How about Matt Van Oekel, though? Such an interesting story. 32 years of age, sort of revitalized his career after Cody Lorendi went down with that horrific knee injury at the end of 2017. It was Van Oekel who sort of stepped up and really made a name for himself yet again in the latter stages of his career and sort of earned this starting job back within the USL Championship. And he's been a big part of this ridiculous stretch of not only unbeaten in their last 8, but that 6+ stretch of games without conceding a goal.
The guy loves putting donuts on clean sheets, man. 8 clean sheets this season. Let's just call him the donut maker. He is fantastic between his sticks. 33 years of age, and it's the type of position where you get better as you get older. And Van Oekel has proved that.
We've already talked about pies. We've talked about donuts. You a little hungry over there?
Actually, I am.
Yeah. Sorto did well to keep it in play. Here comes Loudoun United. Loudoun leading the charge. Sinclair. Back for Loudoun. Try to sneak it through, takes a deflection, and Connor Presley will let it go out.
Just looking at Sinclair's first couple touches in the early parts of the game. Such a quick player with the game ahead of him or behind him. Just seems to have second thoughts when the ball comes and it's so congested in the middle of the park.
For Firth. Loudoun. Now it's Sorto. Jacob Green coming around the bend. Sorto cutting it back into the middle, but it was a really heavy touch and showed way too much of it to Prosper Kasim. And meanwhile, Birmingham Legion on the other end. J.J. Williams, excellent ball long for Brian Wright. Daniel Johnson trying to get involved into the attack. It's a long for Johnson. Johnson waits, tries to drag it towards the byline, but he made a mess of it in the end. It was good stuff from Birmingham basically up until the final product.
Well, J.J. Williams has been such a big part of this new formation. The early part to Brian Wright, and then Daniel Johnson just losing that touch at the last minute. What an opportunity that was for the visitors.
Daniel Johnson has 3 goals on the season already. Good challenge over on the far side from Olinger Jansen.
I believe the term is crunching tackle. You can hear that from the booth. But a corner nonetheless.
Kyle Murphy still trying to find his groove and put his stamp on this game. Did have that one chance that was fizzed across by Connor Presley, but just out of his reach. And the first corner of the night for Loudoun United.
What a leader Kyle Murphy is for this young team. 5 goals, 3 assists.
Ball whipped in. It's not a bad one. Donovan Pines was waiting for it. Firth will set it up for Loudoun United. Seconds available here. Jacob Green.
Birmingham almost got caught staring. Nobody attacked the ball, and it almost fell kindly for Loudoun.
Kasim, great ball long for Brian Wright, but a monstrous touch from the Canadian.
But it just shows how effective they are in finding space when counter-attacking. But eventually Brian Wright and company are going to get that touch just right, and they're going to be in on goal. You know, it's the type of pass that Soto just did that Coach Son would not be angry towards. He wants them to be aggressive with that forward pass. He wants them to be adventurous. So when players cross the half line and try to look for the jugular for this Loudoun team, it plays right in the Coach Son's philosophy on the offensive end.
Veteran Eric Avila. Cleaned up by Sorto. Ridiculous 8-match unbeaten streak. Birmingham not just winning against the sides that they're supposed to win against, but getting wins against the likes of Tampa Bay Rowdies, Charlotte Independence, North Carolina FC, and getting that win against Tampa Bay at Al Lang, which is probably the most impressive part, given Birmingham's form away from home hasn't been terrific this year.
And their confidence just went sky high after that. I mean, they totally believed in themselves, found momentum, and then started to have fun. And that's what made this team so dangerous, having fun going forward. So they shored up everything in the back four and the middle of the park, and then started to really get creative on the wings with J.J. Williams, Kasim Prosper, and not tonight, but Eddie Opoku, who just ran rings around the Rowdies that day in Allianz Stadium. Let's talk about the East in the USL for a second here. 6 teams deep. Talk about depth at this USL level, and just so much fun to watch.
Here's an effort, and ends up being smothered by Callie Brown in the end. Yeah, the bottom of the playoff race in the Eastern Conference certainly is one to keep an eye on. It's not nearly as condensed as the Western Conference, which basically from 4th place all the way down to 15th place, you have no idea who's going to finish where. But, you know, the Eastern Conference, especially with the emergence of Birmingham Legion, has become very interesting over the past couple of weeks.
You know, looking at between the East versus West, we look what Phoenix is doing. I mean, just untouchable in regards to getting results and style of play. We're going to talk about that depth in the East.
This is in for Sorto. Hollinger Jansen first to it. And well played by Eric Avila. Prosper Kasim wiggling his way out of trouble. Look at him go. And playing Brian right along. 1v1 with Donovan Pines. Right, edge of the area. And had it intercepted by Colin Verfurth and straight to the feet of Orlando Sinclair.
So Prosper Kasim last week opened the scoring with that exact run coming through the middle and finishing nicely. Tried to get on the end of it there, but good read by Loudoun to intercept. But just going back with the East versus West, what Phoenix Rising is doing over there, just astounding in their style of play and the results they're getting. But it just seems that the Eastern Conference is just so deep and willing to scrap for 90 minutes. It's just not as clear-cut in the East as it is in the West.
And there have been players that have bounced back and forth between the East and the West over the past couple of years in the USL Championship who have come out and say, and it's pretty obvious as well, but just hearing it from the horse's mouth is nice as well. But, I mean, the Western Conference and the way that they play, it's just so open. It's not that there's an unwillingness to defend, because Phoenix Rising have one of the best goals against average in the league, if not the best, depending on the week. But there just seems to be so much more of an emphasis on scoring goals as opposed to defending, whereas in the Eastern Conference you have teams like Louisville, Tampa Bay, Indy 11, which are just absolute stalwarts at the back.
Yeah, out West, I mean, it's a little bit like La Liga in Spain, where there's so many good players on the ball. So when they get to the last third, the ability to create in the last third provides so many chances. And like you said, so much fun to watch.
Loudoun sliding it through. Kyle Murphy should be onside. Asiedu trying to get back and win the ball, and that is a man's challenge, but he's going to get called for the foul. It was a little bit of an extended arm, which probably got him into trouble, and now a dangerous set piece coming up for Loudoun United.
Well, this is what Asiedu has been doing for the last couple of weeks, just disrupting plays everywhere on Kyle Murphy's shoulder, but you see the forearm being extended, and great call by the referee. Great reaction by Murphy, and tough defending by Asiedu. Just got called for the foul, and rightly so.
Former last pick in the first round of the MLS Super Draft by Atlanta United. Of course, spent some time with Atlanta United too. Got waived, and now obviously with Birmingham Legion. Started with Monmouth University in New Jersey, eventually transferred to UCLA.
Does he go through the list one by one and tick off who he wants to repay for not picking him?
Certainly seems like he's on a mission given the way that he's been playing over the past month and a half or so. Alvarez just loops it in. It's a good ball, and it's off the post for Murphy. And Colin Verfurth's follow-up is sent into the bleachers. Delicious ball from Alvarez, and Kyle Murphy rocks the woodwork.
Well, Kyle Murphy is a poacher of goals, and this ability you can't teach. Gets on the end of it, and just centimeters away of giving the home team a well-deserved lead, it must be said. Great delivery, great header. Woodwork to the rescue.
Colin Verfurth not happy with the follow-up as well, but for Kyle Murphy now having that missed opportunity in the first 5 minutes or so from Connor Presley and now striking the woodwork, it can go one of two ways, I feel like, with a striker. Either he knows that he's close and he's getting there, or you start to put your head down a little bit and you say, what do I have to do to buy a goal tonight?
Yeah, and there's an old saying by a coach, and just bear with me on this one. Being a forward is being like a ketchup bottle. You shake the ketchup bottle over and over and over again, and sometimes nothing comes out, but then sometimes oodles of ketchup comes out. So just keep doing the right things over and over every week, and eventually the goals will come. So with Kyle Murphy wearing red tonight, he's the perfect ketchup bottle.
Ketchup bottle seems to be stuck, though. You would love to just get a knife up in there and just see if you can have it start flowing.
Oh,
Sinclair wins it back. Try to get it back for Kyle Murphy. Now it's Loudoun. In for Murphy. Positive first touch. Gets around the first defender, and Tori Penzo, our head referee, wasn't interested in a foul. Meanwhile, Daniel Johnson on the other end will initiate the counterattack. 1v1 with Donovan Pines.
oh, great tackle by Pines.
Here's a V up. J.J. Williams now. Long range effort and sends it into the next county.
Well, the one thing you don't want to do is back off on J.J. Williams. He has a cannon of a left foot. But what started the play before was Loudoun's pressure on the ball. From U7 to open play, nobody likes pressure. And it was Sinclair who picked the pocket and started that first attack for Loudoun.
Or giveaway from Alvarez. Prosper Kasim in for Brian Wright.
Speaking about pressure, excellent pressure by Prosper.
Sorto in for Sinclair. Johnson tracking back nicely and wins it back for Birmingham. Prosper Kasim again driving forward with plenty of authority. Kasim is going to let it fly. And it took a deflection, it seems like. Or did it? It did in a corner kick coming up for the visitors.
We're looking more and more at this Birmingham team. The diamond formation is starting again, and Prosper seems to be ending up on top of that diamond. Finds himself in shooting range and just rifles this one. May have gotten a touch, and the referee agrees.
So Loudoun United have already been able to muster up a bit of magic from set pieces. Let's see what Birmingham Legion has in store. Ricavilla, decent ball in, and it was actually won by Hollinger Jansen. And it looked like he took a shot to the head, and they're immediately calling for medical attention. And he is not in good shape.
He looks in pain.
He looks like he's shaking.
Not even hovering around him, giving him space.
Always a scary sight. We'll take another look at it.
Not too clear on that shot. Looking at the landing of his foot. Still not sure. Looks kind of dazed.
It might have been sort of the outstretched foot of Donovan Pines that might have caught him coming back on the way up. It was difficult to tell, and we definitely want to stray away from speculation, but it certainly seems like something that the medical staff of both Loudoun United and Birmingham are going to have to pay attention to, as Tom Sohn giving his side a brief tactical lesson. The ball definitely hits him in the face, but
those select balls are something else. Good quality balls, by the way. And of course, Coach Tommy Sohn decides to play a game of checkers.
Looks like Akeem Moore wants to play chess, though. There's already a substitute getting ready for Birmingham as Hollinger Jansen slowly but surely making his way off the field. And we're being told that it's Ben Kucera coming on. Hollinger Jansen, who's really been electric in the opening 23 minutes or so, just with regard to his defensive presence on the field. 25 years old from Benin.
Tough for a defensive player to come in. It's such a rhythm position. at the drop of a hat and just pick up your position and act like nothing has happened. So Kuchera is going to have a couple minutes to catch his bearings here. Almost like a goalkeeper position, coming in there and finding your positioning.
So Birmingham will sag off a little bit. Now coming with some soft pressure, drawing the line in the sand, just above the edge of the circle on the Loudoun United side of things is Connor Presley. Plays it through for Orlando Sinclair. Takes the inside, slips it through, decent ball. Here's Loudoun, but it's straight into the hands of Matt Van Oekel, and a relatively easy save in the end.
Well, that started with Connor Presley making himself available from the press. Slips it into Sinclair, comes in on the left, beautiful move, and then finds the through ball to Loudoun. And a soft shot at the first post, smothered by the donut maker, Van Oekel.
Easy making donuts when the shots are coming at you like that.
At 33 years old, probably enjoys a donut on a morning, I would say. A cup of coffee and a donut.
Who doesn't?
Yeah. And if you're going to make donuts on the field, may as well have a few in the morning, right?
Segra, with its industry-leading customer service and one of the East Coast's largest fiber networks, is powering organizations of all sizes with the state-of-the-art voice, data, and internet services. Whether you're a municipality, a large business, or a fledgling startup, Segra knows you can't afford to be down. Their fast, reliable, and secure solutions keep you up and running and ahead of the pack. Asiedo in for Brian Wright, but again, a heavy touch, and Colin Verfurth is able to clean things up.
Well, things have seemed to be going according to plan for both teams. 26 minutes gone. Loudoun FC, 57% possession. So 43% to Birmingham.
All over the top for Kyle Murphy. A bad ball in, asking some questions. Mathieu Laurent.
Well, heads up play by Kyle Murphy. Just swinging his left foot and putting the ball back in the mixer. And putting Laurent and company under pressure. Great job by Loudoun getting red shirts into the box. Just responding to that again, that direct ball.
Corner at the near post, skips all the way through. Donovan Pines with an acrobatic attempt.
Well, Brian Wright, it was a forward in the defender's position. Here it is, corner low onto the first post, and Brian Wright with the missed kick and putting a lot of pressure on his back line there as Donovan Pines spoons ones over.
Nearly a half an hour gone here at Segra Field. No score between Loudoun United and Birmingham Legion. Birmingham looking to make it 7 wins out of 8. And for Loudoun United, just trying to seek their first win here at Segra Field since they opened up a few weeks ago.
So with the possession of 60% to Loudoun now, 3 shots, 3 total shots, and then for Birmingham, 4 shots out of 40% possession. So, like we said, according to plan, the counter-attacking team against the possession team here.
Presley balling towards the back post, but a little bit behind Kyle Murphy, who felt like he was pushed, but it's going to need to be a lot more malicious than that to earn a penalty.
Great ability by Presley, though, coming in on the left foot and still having great accuracy, trying to find Murphy at that last post.
It's a decent idea for Kyle Culbertson, but just comes off.
Good pressure by Loudoun, not allowing Brian Wright to get a comfortable touch on this ball all game long.
Alvarez with a big sweeping ball intended for Jacob Green, who's making a darting run for the outside back position. Ryan, you asked Ryan Martin whether or not they were going to maybe absorb a bit of pressure from this Birmingham side and get back to basics, or if they were just going to go after it from the opening whistle. And I think we've gotten the answer, but we've also seen Birmingham use their style of play to their advantage.
Yeah, I think it's played right into each coach's hand, right? So, great tackle, by the way, by Akeem Ward. Yeah, so Loudoun seems so comfortable in possession, are willing to attack the wings as to where Birmingham like to stay compressed defensively. But Birmingham also like to stay compressed and break out on the wing to J.J. Williams and Kasim Prosper.
To the far side for Presley, but again running out of room.
So that chessboard you just saw Tommy Sohn had just now, it is a game of chess between these two teams so far. And both teams playing to their strengths. Both pretty even on shots on goal, chances created. Nobody willing to crack. Just willing to see also in the second half, we call that the coach's half, if there are any adjustments made. But so far, both teams playing to their strengths, possession versus counter.
Alvarez, a calming presence in the middle of the field for Ryan Martin. Thought that they got maybe even out-hustled a little bit against the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, so they weren't necessarily positioned well for second balls, weren't going after second balls all that much. And maybe even a lack of desire at times, which is something that no coach wants to see.
Yeah, if it's the one thing you can't control on the pitch is desire.
Sorto, great little move to skip around the first defender. Sorto still with it, it'll pop out for Alvarez. Wanted to slide it through for Jacob Green. It wasn't a bad idea, but telegraphed the pass the entire way. Asiedu around Presley, but good cover from Donovan Pines. Sinclair.
Great sequence here for Loudoun.
Encouraging ball forward for the center back. He puts a cross in. And Kyle Murphy was looking for the flick at the back post, but couldn't quite pull it off. Brian Wright trying to hold up play and even go at the entire Loudoun United back line. Brian Wright turns out of pressure, now in 1v1. Wright slides it across, and it's the opening goal for Birmingham. The flag stays down, and it's J.J. Williams who finishes off one of the easiest goals that he'll score of his career, because it was Brian Wright who led it from start to finish for the visitors. And Birmingham take a 1-0 lead here at Segra.
Well, the counter-attacking team strikes first blood. Loudoun FC pushing up with an excellent sequence of attack, and Brian Wright with a great turn. And it's a one-man army right now. Red shirts chasing him, looks across, sees J.J. Williams, and he just basically walks it in. 1-0 to the visitors. Tom Sohn has to be thankful. Ryan Martin must be kicking the stones right now. What a great play by Brian Wright. Led the counter-attack. And what great awareness to find J.J. Williams on his left shoulder. And the big man just walks it in.
Well, you would like to think in a situation like that where a number 9 is double teamed, it's going to be hold-up play. You just bounce it back to a midfielder. But Brian Wright just decided, hold on a second. I see a little bit of an opening because there was nobody defending for Loudoun United. There was no cover. Everything was flat along the Loudoun United back line, and Brian Wright just made a meal of it.
Well, Brian Wright had a couple heavy touches at the beginning of this half, but boy, did he make amends for it. Great trickery. And that goal had his name all over it. You'll see J.J. Williams on the score sheet, but make no mistake, that was all Brian Wright.
4th assist of the season for the Canadian. Meanwhile, for J.J. Williams, his 5th goal of the year. Brian Wright was actually drafted by the New England Revolution. Of course, when Tom Sohn was over there. That's a stint with the Tulsa Roughnecks, and now really enjoying time with Birmingham. This one is dinked over the top for Kyle Culbertson, and he just has acres of space on his left-hand side. Wright making a darting run over on the far side.
But what a mark of a veteran team. Playing 4-4-2 diamond, pressing everybody all year long. Then finally switched to 4-3-3. Kobayashi goes down, the holding midfielder. Asiedu comes in, becomes a disruptor, and again creates counterattacks by disrupting plays in the middle of the park, as we saw as a perfect example on that first goal. Just changing their stripes halfway through the season and now becoming a force in the USL Eastern Conference.
How much credit has to be given to Tom Sohn for making that decision. And it's difficult for a manager to have a philosophy that you want to go forward with at the beginning of the season, one that you think is going to be successful, and that's what you created, that's what you had in mind, and to be able to swallow your pride, look yourself in the mirror and say, this isn't working, we need to figure something else out, and then tailored everything to the players that he had available, and it's come off in spades.
And then walk into the dressing room and say, you know what, boys, remember what we talked about for the last 2 months?
Forget it.
Forget everything
Yeah.
I said. This is plan B, and we're going with plan B here. Credit to the players for starting afresh and growing new stripes halfway through the season.
Sinclair back for Sorto. This is clean football here from Loudoun United. Presley now on his left. Decent ball in, not his best. Headed away. Only as far as Sorto. Back for Presley, who has more space. Eludes Culbertson. Another good ball in, won by Akeem Ward.
I would love to see the statistic of Connor Presley on crosses made for the first 35 minutes. Amazing, the service he's providing for this Loudoun team.
Prosper Kasim felt like he was taken down by Colin Verfurth, went down too easily in the eyes of our head referee, Tori Penzo, who's done a very good job tonight. Kasim stays down. Sorto trying to bounce it back for Jacob Green. Kasim is grabbing on to that left shoulder, or right shoulder, excuse me.
Well, we've already seen Hollinger, Jensen gone down and subbed out for Birmingham. Here's Prosper Kasim. Goes in and seems to get a shoulder right in the chest area, seems to be on elbow. Goes down.
And of course it looks much more blatant in slow motion than it does in real time for Tori Penzo, because she was probably more just focused on the fact that Kasim sort of stopped making an effort for the ball, and it was difficult to see Verfurth's elbow go into the chest of Prosper Kasim. Was still pleading with our head referee.
Yeah, of course, we have the luxury of seeing replays, but referees being a thankless job as it is. May have missed one, but again, fair play to her.
Here's Jacob Green. Less than 10 minutes remaining until halftime. J.J. Williams with the opening goal here at Segra Field. Sinclair, clever touch. Kyle Murphy trying to run onto it. Bustamante, a cool header for Presley. Presley back into the middle once again. Nodded away by Mathieu Laurent.
Just look at the Loudoun bodies, so dedicated at going towards the ball.
There's no lack of desire tonight from Ryan Martin's group, that's for sure, but it seems like at the moment that they've been outbested tactically by Tom Sohn and what he's been able to bring to the table.
On a high possession team, it's so important to close down the play once possession is given up. And Loudoun are doing everything right. Just a brilliant play by Brian Wright for that first goal.
Loudoun have created some chances. Kyle Murphy was probably a overdue toenail cut away from scoring the opening goal in the first 5 minutes. Just out of the reach of a cross from Connor Presley, and then struck the woodwork right around the 15-minute mark or so off of a beautiful set-piece ball curled in by Carlos Alvarez. But here they come again, looking for the equalizer.
Great patience by Bustamante. Important for players like Bustamante to try and get on the ball in this sequence here. Deep in the third, he's a playmaker, so is Sinclair. Here he is. Has to take some responsibility here.
Presley.
Small misunderstanding between Bustamante and Sinclair, but it looks like Culbertson got the last touch.
Tom Sohn barking instructions from the Birmingham technical area.
And playing chess, man.
And playing chess. A multitasker if there ever was one. Bustamante now. An outswinger. First ball won by Birmingham. Still work to do, though.
Oh.
Presley with a little burst of speed. Loudoun trying to win it back. Bustamante for Presley. Room to deliver. Clips it in. It was angled towards Loudoun.
Well, calm play there by Kasim Prosper, but the sequence before got pickpocketed by that excellent bit of closing down by Loudoun United. That created that chance for Connor Presley to serve the ball into the box. But again, going back to Sinclair and Bustamante, just want to see them get on the ball a little bit more and dictate the flow for this Loudoun team. Yes, the passes have been direct, but just want to see a little bit more purpose towards the passes in the final third.
There's that line of confrontation we were talking about from Birmingham. About 10 to 15 yards past midfield.
Great strategy away from home, especially a counter-attacking team. Is that imaginary line. This field is chopped into thirds as they sit in that second third.
Alvarez, big ball over for Presley. And Culbertson able to win it back for Birmingham.
Such experience by Culbertson, not allowing Presley to bring that ball down, and in the end just ricocheting it off the wing back.
Sorto didn't feel the pressure, but did well to win it back. Too much on it, though, trying to link up with Loudoun. And that Van Oekel will invite the pressure.
Soto is such an exciting player, getting on the ball in the last third, excellent dribbling ability. Just can't seem to find that final pass, and that comes with age, with experience, finishing the dribble, as they would say.
Finds his header, goes in negative fashion. J.J. Williams just trying to muscle his way through. Almost able to do so, and Donovan Pines probably didn't need to take a touch on that.
Well, the battle of the 6'4" players goes to J.J. Williams in that sequence. And Williams sort of maneuvering himself around the park here. Was playing on the right side for the first 30 minutes, now finding himself on the left. Definitely has the license to roam.
Culbertson looking to use that long throw in. Bounces in the middle of the area, punched away by Callie Brown, and eventually cleared away by Loudoun United. That was precarious to say the least for Loudoun, and that is cardinal sin #1, letting a ball bounce in the penalty area.
Yeah, everything can go wrong once that ball hits the ground.
Kasim, Eric Avila. He lofts one in, looking for J.J. Williams. Header won by Connor Presley, who's back for defensive responsibilities. Culbertson had it taken away by Donovan Pines. It was a clean challenge. Culbertson out of position. Space to play for Loudoun United.
We have Murphy wide open on the left. If Sinclair can find him.
Made the wrong decision in the end.
Look at J.J. Williams. Look at the touch by the big man.
Incredibly well done.
Takes so much pressure off his coach and his team with the ability to handle the ball under pressure. Can play him at different positions. Can come back and defend.
Williams, who was born in Clovis, New Mexico, but grew up in Montgomery, Alabama. Was a Kentucky Wildcat in his collegiate days. Should have been playing for John Calipari with that size.
Again, that forward ball by Loudoun. It's adventurous, it's attacking, Just need to have a little bit more purpose to it, though, rather than just hitting the ball into open space. As I'm sure Coach Ryan Martin will mention it at halftime. So 44 minutes gone. Loudoun FC with an excellent bit of possession, playing into their strengths. Ryan Martin cannot be upset as his players have responded to what he has asked. And so too Coach Sohn. He has asked his players to play that away type game, or the game that they've played for the last 7 games. Sit back, be compact, and allow your front three to counter-attack for you. Be disruptive in the middle of the park. And in the end, the visitors have come up with the lead.
Is it fair to say that the only chance that Loudoun have created is from that set piece delivered by Carlos Alvarez? Real chance.
That is the real chance. The half chances have come about. Connor Presley finding space on this right-hand side is positive for Loudoun.
But he hasn't connected with anybody yet.
Correct, but the service is being provided. But good defensive sequences by Birmingham.
3 minutes of stoppage time. And stoppage time brought to you by Ortho Virginia.
Here's Bustamante, just looking to see his direction here.
Jacob Green, 16-year-old with a good cutback. Delivery was a bit short, cleared away by the substitute Benjamin Cusero, came on for Femi Hollinger-Jansen.
Green has every right to put that ball into the trees, but there's so many white trees there in the box that sometimes players like Bustamante and Sinclair are making that run to the top of the 18-yard box. The wingbacks may fare better by looking towards those guys, just to mix things up in their delivery.
As it stands, Birmingham 5 points clear of the Charleston Battery. Mike Anhauser's group in 10th place, Birmingham in 9th, and just 4 points off of Ottawa, although both of those teams on either side of them in the standings with 2 games in hand. Donovan Pines with a header that goes awry, and a chance here for Birmingham in the final moments of the first half to perhaps extend their lead.
Well, Donovan Pines with a forwards type header there. That was tucked away and down in the corner. And no chance for Callie Brown. So the last corner we had an injury to Harlinger Jensen. See if Birmingham can put something together.
V will go short for Culberson. They'll change the angle. Header coming along for J.J. Williams. That looked like it was destined to go to the back post, where there were a couple of numbers running on that looked to be something straight from the training ground from Tom Sohn, and almost came off in spades.
Yeah, I think that was from the training ground. Excellent heads-up play, and yes, pun was intended, as J.J. Williams cut to that first post as soon as Culberson got feel of the ball.
This one towards the back post, back in, and Donovan Pines this time with a very clean header to get it up and over the bar.
Well, the run by J.J. Williams for the first corner, this time across to the back post. Played back across by Laurent, and Donovan Pines this time with a great defensive header, keeping Loudoun in the game. 2-0 would have been disastrous going into halftime.
Ryan Wright back for a V-up. Delivery denied by Jacob Green.
Good disciplined defending by Loudoun. Just responding well to the short corner. Everybody holding their marks.
And that's going to do it for the first half as Torrey Penzo brings it to a close. Birmingham Legion with a 1-0 win, or lead, excuse me. Still 45 minutes to go. J.J. Williams with the opening goal after a Brian Wright one-man wrecking crew got loose, split a double team on the inside of midfield, and then was able to streak in. It was a 2-on-0 with Callie Brown. Slid it through to J.J. Williams, who scored his 5th goal this season, and Birmingham Legion, who have been red hot as of late, continue their phenomenal form. Work to do for Ryan Martin and crew. Tom Sohn has to be very pleased on the road. We're headed to halftime, brought to you by the National Conference Center. 1-0 in favor of the visitors. Halftime brought to you by National Conference Center here at Segra Field. Birmingham Legion with a 1-0 lead thanks to J.J. Williams' goal about midway through the first half after a terrific individual effort from Brian Wright to get him to that point. And probably one of the easiest finishes that J.J. Williams will see in his career. And we'll step aside to take a look at the best of week 25 in the USL Championship and take a look at what's on the docket for Wednesday night soccer, but it happens to be on Friday.
Obi charging on, curling the cross. That's excellent from
Quickly to Watson. Watson gonna take a shot. Oh my!
That is sensational from the Irishman.
Plays it across and finds the one-handed attempt.
Powers delivery. Goes it out! The beauty! 150 to Captain. Garcia flicks it in there, back of the net.
Trying to find Chang, does the volley, and that one batted out.
Into the penalty area, Rito, near post finish. What a goal!
They have this long win streak going, but it's because they're taking care of opportunities as this strike goes up and in.
How about Ferris? How good is this? This one whistled all the way across, headed on frame, tipped over the bar and cleared out by Levine.
Here's Johnson. Saw the goal momentarily. Shot taken by Poco! Scored! He's got the brace!
Both did saved by Lorendi. Puts it back. Fires a shot, trickles on and in. Charlie Dennis back the other way down the right flank, takes it himself.
Slides it into the 18. That ball's touched into the back of the net. And no room to turn, but Bergen! What a strike!
But here's Joe Gallardo now coming forward. Gallardo still on the ball. Gallardo takes a shot, it's pushed away.
Ball is loose inside the 18. Moshabani comes over, shot, stop made by Avilas. Silva will have a hit. Oh, good save by Mejimadu. From the moment he left his boot, it looked destined for goal. Alma N4 hesitates, fires, and finds the back of the net.
Awesome stuff from the Championship and League One as week 26 is well underway. And we are halfway through this one here at Segra Field in Leesburg, Virginia. Again, Tyler Terrence along with the incomparable Ryan Davis, who is sitting 2.5 centimeters to my right. And we'll take a look at some news and notes from around the USL Championship. Phoenix Rising FC, another win last night against the Tacoma Defiance. That makes it 16 in a row. They're looking to make it 17 against Colorado Springs later on this weekend. If they do win that game, they will clinch a playoff spot quicker than any team in the history of the league. One game sooner than FC Cincinnati did it a year ago. New deal reached between USL and ESPN, which is massive for the fans at home as they just continue to get all sorts of content available on ESPN Plus. And Wednesday Night Soccer is here to stay, and then some on the national platforms. And then, of course, Louisville City and Indy 11 will go head-to-head Friday night at 7 Eastern on ESPN3. And let's take a look at the updated standings here in the Eastern Conference. We already talked about it, and it's particularly the teams that are sitting below the playoff cutoff line and right above it that are intriguing, Ryan. Birmingham, as we mentioned, 5 points clear if this result holds over the Charleston Battery. But, you know, it's teams that have games in hand that you would like to think are in a better position. But sometimes a coach will tell you that, no, we already did the work. We already have the points.
Points on the board is the most important thing here. And for Birmingham Legion to get even closer to Ottawa Fury and start to posture a little bit for playoff positions, I think is the most important. So I think the points on the board that Birmingham have put up seems to be the most impressive.
Now let's take a look at what's on the horizon for Wednesday Night Soccer, as it will be on Friday this week. Not to confuse you all at home, but it is a little bit confusing. September 11th, it's going to be Las Vegas Lights playing host to Phoenix Rising FC. all the remaining games on ESPN3. How about St. Louis playing host to New York Rebels 2? St. Louis are just desperate for anything to go their way right now, sitting below the playoff cutoff line after their magical run in the U.S. Open Cup. And then El Paso will play host to Fresno, which will have all sorts of playoff implications in the Western Conference, as El Paso right now currently sitting in 13th. Meanwhile, Fresno in second, chasing Phoenix, but it's almost like catching a butterfly at this point. It's just simply never going to happen. And we'll step aside one more time, but when we come back, we will have stats and highlights from the first half, and of course, second half kickoff. Don't go anywhere. Almost ready for the second half here. Just a reminder, the National Conference Center, home of Loudoun United FC, is a corporate training facility in Leesburg, Virginia. It hosts over 14,000 individuals per month. It comprises 265,000 square feet of meeting space. The National contains 250 conference rooms, an athletic facility, commissary, and 917 guest rooms. And we'll take a look at how the first half went down here in Leesburg. Unbelievable stuff from Brian Wright as he's able to just dash past the entire Loudoun United defense. If you're Ryan Martin at halftime, what's the message to the group?
I think you have to vary your attack. Connor Presley did a great job crossing the ball when Birmingham became compact. I think you still have to be stubborn and bring the ball into Bustamante and Sinclair and see if they can link up with Kyle Murphy and get a goal on the ground rather than service through the sides.
And for Thompson and Birmingham Legion, business as usual?
Don't change a thing. Stay compact, counter-attack with J.J. Williams on the wings and Kazim Prosper rather, and try to get a second goal on the counter-attack.
Well, as you mentioned before, a win for Birmingham, that means they would win their past 7 out of 8. It would make them 9 unbeaten. Meanwhile, for Loudoun United, they would drop their first 4 games their 3 at Segra Field since opening up against the Charlotte Independents without getting a win. And their first game against Charlotte was so electric. There was so much energy here. They had to come back 3 separate occasions, but it ended up being a 3-3 draw. And since then, losses to the likes of Charleston as well as Ottawa. And if they don't change anything, another loss at the hands of Birmingham. And it wouldn't be anything to sneeze at because Birmingham, quite literally the hottest team in the Eastern Conference at the moment. And away we go in the second half. Tyler Terrence along with Ryan Davis, thank you so much for tuning in on this Wednesday night. We have one other game going on in the Eastern Conference as Atlanta United 2 and Memphis 901 FC are doing battle. Last time we checked, it was Stephen Glass's side with a 1-0 lead. As Orlando Sinclair right off the bat, able to find Bustamante.
Heads up play by Bustamante.
It's J.J. Williams able to split a double team, and that's not the first time that that's happened tonight for Ryan Martin's group. And you can always get in trouble if you're able to wiggle your way out of the double team, because that means there's space somewhere else on the field.
Well, J.J. Williams, just look at this guy. Played at the top of a 4-4-2 all season long. Asked to play as a winger now. Has to get back and have defensive responsibilities. But so far, what we've seen for the last couple of games, he's done such an admirable job at that position.
Poor mistake there from Akeem Ward. Put across for Kyle Murphy. Trying to cut it back. An excellent move. Here's Murphy and the equalizer for Loudoun United. Kyle Murphy skidding the Birmingham defense. And the captain leading by example. It's 1-1 at Segra.
Pressure, pressure, pressure. Nobody likes it from U7 to Open Cup. Pressured by Loudoun FC. Disrupted by Soto. He slips it into his captain, Kyle Murphy. What a beautiful move. And then the cool finish past Van Oekel. No donuts tonight. Look at the move by Murphy. And then what a finish that was. It was 1 against 2, no problem. No donut for Van Oekel tonight. And it's 1-1, courtesy the captain.
No donut for Van Oekel, but it will be a little bit of nutmeg for Mathieu Laurent as Kyle Murphy with just a spectacular move. And that's exactly the type of response you wanted if you're Ryan Martin at the start of the second half. And they're looking for more. Sinclair finding Sorto. Somehow came away with it. It takes a deflection. Murphy will wait for it. Kyle Murphy going for goal and a terrific block from Akeem Ward.
But look at this pressure and the energy from this Loudoun FC team coming out of the gates in the second half. Birmingham are still in the dressing room mentally. And the home team is all over them.
Verfurth just dinking one in the space. Jacob Green being hounded by Ward. Looked like last touch came off of Akeem, and indeed it did.
Just looking now at the intensity of this high press from Loudoun that created the goal. It is red shirts everywhere, and here they are again.
6th goal of the season for Kyle Murphy. Donovan Pines almost gave it away. J.J. Williams with all sorts of pressure. Williams trying to go for Brian Wright, but didn't quite pick his head up and see where the options were. It looked like Prosper Kasim had a lot of daylight on the far side as well, but the offside flag is up.
Well, J.J. Williams is in a ubiquitous mood. He is all over every inch of grass on this field, Segra Field tonight. He's covering. Defensively, offensively, the big man is everywhere.
Bustamante, fouled by Eric Avila.
Good job by Bustamante, just absorbing the pressure. Went over, got the free kick.
Now wide for Jacob Green. He puts one in. It's a good ball and asking a lot out of Kyle Culbertson. He had the answer.
Well, eat your heart out, Connor Presley, because Jacob Green has showed up.
Oh, that has to be a corner.
A bend it like Beckham delivery. And Culbertson clearly kicked it out. Sorry, chested it out. And let's see if the referee has overturned her decision. Yes, she has.
Looks like a different Loudoun United side at the start of the second half, as Birmingham very much on their heels now. This part of a 3-game road swing for Tom Sohn's side. So they'll go to Atlanta United next. And we're at Bethlehem this past weekend.
You know, you have to love the DNA of this Loudoun team. They press high, they got their goal, and what they do? They continue to press, continue to play high, and continue to pressure this Birmingham team.
Andrew Loudoun's just going to get a talking to from Tori Penzo. Five minutes gone here in the second half, and it's Kyle Murphy. Makes it a half a dozen on the season. And he gets Loudoun United right back in it.
Well, that's what pressure does. Now the passes have to be too accurate, have to be too precise. And as a result, mistakes are being made in this back line of Birmingham.
Culbertson just clips one in. Ryan Wright running onto it. He'll be able to get there. And lets it run out of play, and a corner kick coming.
That's always going to be a threat for this Birmingham team with J.J. Williams and Brian Wright, two big physical forwards who play well off each other, as we saw in the first goal. Can always go direct and skip the midfield.
Ensuing corner for Birmingham. Avila. Almost sneaks in. That was really awkward. It's going to be offside on Brian Wright.
Well, it looked like a backward header by Laurent. And Asiedu tried to make a pest of himself. Just couldn't get on the end of it, but he was in an offside position in the end. Good job by Bustamante. Feeling the pressure, turning away from it. Not so much by Sinclair.
He gives it away. Daniel Johnson now. Too far in front of Asiedu. Sorto. Oh, wasn't a bad idea for Kyle Murphy. Rough challenge for the 16-year-old on the backside of Daniel Johnson, and a free kick for Birmingham for his transgressions.
Just a little bit chippy after the play was done. Green leaving his cleats behind. The youngster definitely getting a piece of Daniel Johnson.
Culbertson almost snuck through for Brian Wright. J.J. Williams will chase after it. Presley somehow got it away.
Looks like the referee's not happy with which blade of grass that throw is going to come in from. So right back to business. Birmingham resetting to that second third now, allowing Loudoun to come onto them.
Sorto. Loudoun trying to sneak through, but door was slammed shut by the Birmingham back line. Presley back in. Elvis Amo getting ready to come on for Loudoun United. Ciedo along for Brian Wright. He wants to run right at Colin Verfurth. Wright with a terrific move. Here comes the Canadian again, but Verfurth got a touch to it.
Great defending by Verfurth. Cut off one angle and just shepherd Brian Wright to one side. Had nowhere to go until the big centre back stuck his foot in and found the right time. Expert defending that was. But it just showed how dangerous Brian Wright is. Excellent on 1v1s. This Birmingham team looking like an old-fashioned Italian national team.
Jacob Green taken away by Akeem Ward. Good defending.
Sitting back comfortably and waiting to pounce. Here they are.
Kasim along for Ward. Brian Wright waiting for it. Too far out in front of him. Probably was going to be offside as well, as he looked to be just about a half step ahead of Donovan Pines. And now the midseason signing Elvis Amo is going to come on here. And he'll replace Orlando Sinclair. Thoughts on Sinclair's performance tonight?
21 years old. I thought he could have been a little more positive in the last third of the field. But I think his coach Ryan Martin will be impressed with his overall 55 minutes of play.
Elvis Amo, 27 years old, very talented. And joined right around mid to late July. 1 goal in what is now 6 appearances.
Just amazing to watch. You saw the play before the substitutes, the ability of this Birmingham team to explode forward. Within 2 direct passes, they're in striking distance of the goal. Make no mistake, counter-attack is a craft in itself.
Bustamante. He can hit it from here, and he wanted to, but Asiedu stepped in at the last hour. Daniel Johnson showing great pace and a professional foul there from Carlos Alvarez, and he will get booked for that. And he'll be shown mustard here in the 57th.
Well, Bustamante beginning to impose himself, got dispossessed, and Daniel Johnson with his excellent dribbling ability. And Carlos Alvarez takes a page out of the old cynical book and takes down Johnson and gets into the referee's book. And with a game built on possession and tackling, he's going to be in the last chance saloon for this Loudoun FC team.
Harry Hawkins getting ready to come in for Ryan Martin, and it looks like he's going to replace Donovan Pines. Always interesting to see when a center back comes on, especially in a 1-1 game.
I think it's more like minute management, like not game management, sorry, but personal management.
And it's Hawkins onto the scene here in the 59th. Ryan, I think you are spot on.
I mean, Pines being a 21-year-old, 58 minutes, just trying to manage the amount of minutes he gets per game.
Crunching challenge from Colin Verfurth.
Great tackling, but just enjoying the dribbling ability of the front line of this Birmingham team. Just no fear between Brian Wright, JJ Williams, Kasim Prosper, Daniel Johnson. Just a joy to watch in the last third or when they are in full stride on the counter.
Erica V on the ensuing corner. Be another outswinger. Good ball in, snapped away by Hawkins. Johnson. Avila curling one in, the header and down and in, but it's offside. Oh, what a sensational ball that was from Avila. And J.J. Williams did everything right except for the timing of the run.
Well, J.J. Williams has been everywhere. And here's Avila just measuring this cross. And J.J. Williams just a shoulder offside. What a finish, what a cross. And I think the big man will ask for VAR on that one, if he had it, if it was accessible to him. Well, it just shows what this Birmingham team is capable of, even when they are not on the counter.
Presley.
Good to see Connor Presley mixing things up, bringing things back into the middle of the park.
Murphy on the turn. Culbertson has to get rid of it quickly. And as you mentioned, Ryan, Connor Presley was all too predictable in the first half. All 7 of his passes in the attacking third in the first half were crosses.
Good crosses, mind you, but I think, like you said, became predictable for this back four for Birmingham. I think trying to get Bustamante back on the ball, and that's only going to happen with Presley and Green bringing the ball back into the middle.
Culbertson. Good move from Daniel Johnson right around Elvis Hamo.
Just a drop of the shoulder, and that's all it took.
Ward. Couple of feints. Working on Carlos Alvarez. Now Ward into the middle looking for Brian Wright. And easy enough for Callie Brown to see out.
Well, that was adventurous play by the overlapping fullback, Ward. Threatening to go right, comes back on the left peg. Just swings it in. But nobody was at home.
Jacob Green finding Elvis Hamo. Almost gave it away. Sorto now. Plenty of Green to gallop into. Sorto try to push it along, not nearly enough zip on it.
Well, we talked about Sorto's dribbling ability, but just finishing off that dribble with the right pass is something he's going to have to develop in his game.
Johnson ahead for Brian Wright. Wright tried to switch the point of attack for Johnson, who's still in acres of space.
Oh, great defending by Loudoun.
Connor Presley getting a foot in. Here's Loudoun, along for Presley. Red jerseys moving forward in a hurry. It's Kyle Murphy now, 1v1 around Van Oekel. Murphy on a tight angle, and he missed it.
Well, Birmingham backline was caught having a drink in their own third. Split apart by Connor Presley and Kyle Murphy.
Elvis Hamo, great ball for Presley. He might have a go here. Instead, he puts it across and takes a deflection. And Matt Van Oekel able to smother it.
Well, here's that backline who did so well in the first half. Culbertson caught out of position. Murphy goes around the keeper, just goes too far, takes the angle away, and just couldn't recover. There it is again. Good job by Van Oekel making a nuisance of himself. But you would think Kyle Murphy, with all that finishing experience, would do better with that. But just like that, an opportunity opens up in this fantastically exciting USL League.
Was he right to try to go around Van Oekel there?
I think he was. His touch was just a little bit too heavy. And in the end, the angle just, or the real estate, was just minusing by the second.
J.J. Williams gets fouled.
J.J. Williams looks like he's in the middle of a scrum half in a rugby match with bodies going flying when he's around. Look at him. But don't laugh too hard. The big fella has the touch of an angel. As Loudoun press again. Trying to pickpocket Akeem Ward.
Unable to do so as Ward skips away from a number of red jerseys, but his little scoop pass didn't quite come off the way he wanted it. for Brian Wright.
But no matter what, the press did force an errant pass, though. So Loudoun FC come up trumps again.
Asiedu. Over the top for Williams and Callie Brown, easy enough.
Just look at the fearless way they press and attack. Just confidence.
Bustamante.
Full credit to Coach Ryan Martin. Going to play his style no matter the age of his group.
Alvarez. Loudoun now. Jacob Green waiting for support to arrive. Finds it in the middle of the field with Bustamante. Loudoun a heavy touch though, cleaned up by Mathieu Laurent.
Good job by Birmingham staying compressed. And Daniel Johnson inevitably gets past two players.
Now for Brian Wright. J.J. Williams at the edge of the area. Wright cutting in, makes a defender slip. Here's Brian Wright going for goal, and it's off the backside of Harry Hawkins.
Well, it was almost too cool and calm. Brian Wright just sort of gliding his way through here. Coming in from the left side, drifts inside. Vermouth loses his footing, sorry. But Loudoun recover and form a barricade.
Asiedu trying to get rid of Elvis Samo.
Great job by Asiedu and great hounding there by Elvis.
Fortuitous bounce for Asiedu. Right for J.J. Williams, back for Avia. Knows exactly where his help is, puts it out wide for Ward. Akeem Ward. Deflected again by Harry Hawkins, who's done well since coming on as a substitute for Donovan Pines.
Well, Harry Hawkins came into this game with 98 clearances. And I think so far he's now in triple digits.
Williams lets the ball do the work. It's beautiful. Edge of the area. Oscar Kasim. Culbertson now. Runs being recycled. Williams trying to snap the header on. Not nearly as clean as the one that was called back for offside.
Great job by Elvis. Just so composed.
A little more than 20 minutes remaining. Kyle Murphy with the leveler. J.J. Williams got us started.
Oof. Good recovery by Asiedu, but here comes that press. And would it force an errant pass? No, it does.
Akeem Ward driving forward. Brian Wright at the back post. Ward keeps it low. Picked off by Colin Verfurth.
Great recovery by Loudoun. Yes, they're going to press. Oh,
Jacob Green gets caught with it, and J.J. Williams gets called for the foul. That seems a bit harsh considering the fact that Green, it looked like, was already on his way down to the floor.
well, he had Green at his mercy, but Green somehow got it through his legs, and the big man is not happy with the call. But the press by Loudoun, they recover so well. Even when Ward got past the press, the defensive line dropped so deep. Harry Hawkins and company. And find a way to snuff out the attack.
Put the water in his mouth. Wash it out.
Can we get a card for cussing? Thank you.
And it is going to be a booking for J.J. Williams, who continued to mouth off to the assistant referee, and Tori Penzo, our head official, had enough of it.
Wash it out, buddy.
You know, J.J. Williams, in the heat of the moment, a lot of players will vent. And referees, they're so gracious, they allow players to vent because they're in the heat of the moment. But there's only so much a human being can take. And quite rightly, J.J. Williams gets into the referee's book. Here's Green, nutmegging, 2 hands out. and putting the referee in a very awkward position when those two hands come out like that. Good call at the end.
And I think if he had kept his hands to himself, Green probably would have just gone down on his own.
Correct.
So Ted Di comes on, just making his 4th appearance for Loudoun United.
So just in case you thought the press was going to let up, here comes some fresh legs. Just to reinforce that red wave. Now we know this Birmingham team likes to keep it compressed, but in order to beat the press, you have to go out wide.
Ends up being Loudoun who's called for the foul here, and as you can hear, much to the dismay of the Loudoun United faithful. Starting to get a little bit chippy here, late challenges galore.
Well, with comes pressure, comes aggressiveness, and the tackles are coming in. But the only way Birmingham is going to get around this press is coming through the sides. And Akeem Ward and Kyle Culbertson are going to have to make themselves available. Just a shrewd bit of coaching by Ryan Martin, trying to take Birmingham out of their comfort zone.
Akeem Ward is looking for an option. Nobody exactly checking back to him. J.J. Williams, feathery touch. Kasim slides it through, Wright still with it. Tries to put it out wide, pinballs around a little bit. Culbertson back for Daniel Johnson.
Well, great link-up play by Birmingham there between the three forwards.
Asiedo from distance.
But in the end, Loudoun playing such a deep line when the ball does come into their own third, are able to get behind the ball and prevent the shot, or they want to.
Elvis Amo getting tangled up with Eric Avila, and it's going to be a yellow card for Amo, and he is absolutely livid.
Well, I have to say that was a little bit harsh on Elvis Amo. He got called for the tackle, and he seemed to have gotten all ball, but the referee just did not like the intent. He is coming blindly behind. He gets the ball, the referee calls the foul, and then looks like Avila raises his leg and trips Asamo. There it is. And Elvis Amo gets into the referee's book, while Avila was the one with the infringement.
And Tori Penzo is trying to at least explain to Elvis Amo why he's getting the card, and she's saying that it was Amo who took the initial step to either come over Avila or to perhaps step on him. But again, as you can see in replaying the luxury that we have, it's very clear to see that Elvis Amo was by far the innocent party in that, and Eric Avila probably should have been booked, but very easy to play Monday morning quarterback, as it were. And Tom Sohn racking his tactical brain for perhaps a personnel change or a tactical change that can spark another late game winner for this side, which has been their bread and butter as of late.
You know, no knock on Loudoun FC, but with 5 wins for the year, I'm sure this is one of those games that Birmingham may have penciled in to try and come in and get a win. So it will feel more of a loss for Tom Sohn if they do come out here with a draw.
Lofted it in. Brown spilled it initially.
But that's not indicative of what happened in this 73 minutes thus far, though. Loudoun FC has played the game of the hosts and have come at Birmingham, control possession, create chances, have been the aggressor. Exactly what Ryan Martin said before the game that he would do, he did do.
Mo cuts it out. Trying to get around the defender, and Kyle Culbertson clears it away and takes the easy way out.
Great header by Hawkins, picking out his man. Here he is again, just so calm on the ball. So important to have your centre-back, to have that ball handling ability.
It's actually Andrew Loudoun has gone back to the outside back position, replacing where Jacob Green was. Brian Wright comes away with it, making defenders miss all over the place again. Wright, now turning towards the byline. And it'll be a corner for Birmingham.
Well, Brian Wright, 1 against 3, no problem. He faces the pressure, he drags the defender. Eventually he gets corralled. 3 defenders come around him and wins the corner. Talk about a one-man wrecking crew.
He is fun to watch in the attacking third. There's no doubt about that. He has the assist on the J.J. Williams goal tonight. Birmingham will go short from the corner. Culbertson gets it on his left peg. Decent ball in, punched away by Brown.
Nice save. Nice save.
Great save by Brown.
Come on, Loudoun, let's get it up there.
So important to have your keeper come and get a hand on that, on a ball so close to the 6-yard box, because the pressure is so on your back four when the ball is delivered so closely.
Culbertson trying to get stuck in. Kudi Pietro slides it along. Elvis Mo working on Asiedu. Fans felt like there was a foul, but nothing in it. But last touch is coming off of Asiedu. And a corner kick.
So it looks like the referee decided no foul, but corner kick. Well, good defensive play by Asiedu, recovered well.
One back by Loudoun in a dangerous area, to say the least. Here's Loudoun on the first time, takes a deflection. It could have gone anywhere, but it goes straight into the hands of Van Oekel.
Well, great decision by Bustamante. Took his time, got the ball back on the wing after the initial corner. Picks out his man Loudoun and got a deflection. But good job by Van Oekel getting behind it. No donut tonight, but good save nonetheless.
13 minutes remaining now, plus stoppage time. Still 1-1 here at Segra Field.
Oh, hit that tackle by Asiedu.
Elvis Mo able to shake it off, though, and find Andrew Loudoun. Teasing ball in, lays it off. Here's Sorto. Blocked by Mitsu Laurent. Right place, right time. Prosper Kasim, though, with a bit of a lazy pass.
Well, great vision by Elvis Amo, holding up that ball and finding Sorto incoming.
Kudi Pietro trying to get around Culbertson. And a corner coming up for the home side yet again.
The pressure is on. And you could almost feel it here by the home side. Looking for number 2, looking for the knockout blow. Harry Hawkins.
Flicked along by Loudoun, but never troubling Van Oekel in the end.
Well, talking about Monday morning quarterback, Harry Hawkins would have been my prime target for that delivery. But in the end, they went first post and they went at a very low height, trying for the flick on. A little bit of relief here for Birmingham with a goal kick, trying to get out from that Loudoun press. Going to the big man of J.J. Williams and Brian Wright.
Thumping header from Asiedu. Harry Hawkins doesn't one better. We do have a player down, and it is an apparent head injury, so play will be stopped automatically. Elvis Amo.
Well, we talked about J.J. Williams and the scrum half sort of effect he has. And in the end, it was Asiedo with a high forearm / elbow.
He almost jumps over Omo.
Yes, looked like Spud Webb
Yeah.
in a dunk contest in 1986.
Elvis Omo will just get the initial field test and just make sure it's nothing too serious.
To say the referee's job is a thankless job is an understatement. Has to explain just about every whistle to a hot-headed player who's in the line of fire is a thankless job.
It's like being a hall monitor, but worse.
Yeah, correct.
Omo back out onto the field. Hospital ball there. Loudoun United come away with it. Di Pietro. We're on the first challenge. Trying to slip it through. Mathieu Laurent, though. Again, another key interception.
Great read by Laurent. Di Pietro, so skilled on that left foot, coming inside, looking to play it through. Really ball snuffed out by Kai Brown.
Bit hopeful there for Brian right over on the far left-hand side as Andrew Loudoun again finding space.
Loudoun seems to be that renaissance man, can fill any hole for Coach Ryan Martin.
Alvarez probing, finds Loudoun. Stood up by Akeem Ward.
Great job by Akeem Ward. Stayed in front of the dance by Loudoun.
Sorto lashes it across. Culbertson. Back post. Di Pietro. Good ball in. Here's Elvis Omo. Bothered just a little bit by Akeem Ward. And Elvis Omo, no, he missed a golden opportunity there to give Loudoun United what was surely been a game winner.
Well, great service to the back post. Di Pietro picking out his man. Elvis is in the building, and just a little nudge by Akeem Ward. Enough to throw Elvis off. It's one of those chances that Amo would want to have that back.
Joe Holland coming on and replacing Eric Avila, who's taken a number of shots in the middle of the park, and the 31-year-old put in quite the shift tonight. His evening comes to a close in the 82nd minute, and Holland, 26-year-old from Birmingham, England, spent last year with the Pittsburgh Riverhounds onto the scene.
Well, Avila was the one burdened with the responsibility of maneuvering that ball through that press, and as a result picked up a lot of fouls.
Heavy touch from Mathieu Laurent, but pushes it out wide. Johnson, away by Hawkins.
Great job by the press again, because even though Birmingham is going wide, they don't seem comfortable going out wide. And the service is not as crisp as it is when it's on a counter-attack or coming through the middle.
You can see the legs of both teams starting to go a little bit here in the final 10 minutes or so.
Must be said, Kasim Prosper has sort of disappeared in the second half. And for them to lose their number 10, not literally, but figuratively, has put a lot of pressure on this Birmingham forward line.
Also have to keep in mind that this is a Birmingham side that finished their game against the Bethlehem Steel on Sunday with 9 players.
And like you said, not Saturday, but Sunday.
Sunday.
So quick turnaround, a travel day. And before you know it, it's game time again Wednesday. I think Elvis Amo just made it too obvious with the forearm coming up so quickly. And the defender was always going to get the benefit of the doubt on that call.
Marcus Ugarte getting set to come on for Thompson as Daniel Johnson just runs straight through the backside. Well, it looks like Antonio Bustamante will double check on that. Excuse me, that was Joe Holland.
So the substitute Holland comes in, fresh legs, goes up for the header, but the referee just does not like the intent of his left arm.
It's Di Pietro who is down. And here comes Marcus Ugarte. 26-year-old from Madrid, seen in the Danish second division before coming over to Birmingham for their inaugural season. And he'll replace DJ.
Well, it's not going to be an even swap. It's a defender coming in for a midfielder. Just interesting to see where Ugarte ends up. Daniel Johnson was playing on the left side of that midfield. It looks like Ugarte may have stepped into that midfield. And yes, it looks like an even swap. I take that back for Daniel Johnson. Great tackle by Loudoun. Just standing up, Brandon Wright.
Deeper, Sorto, deeper. Enough. Enough. You keep saying enough, but it keeps walking. Come on, White, please.
It's like J.J. Williams went down. Ball still not in.
Just judging by the reaction of this Loudoun team, they smell blood in the water here. They have a lot of energy. They know this Birmingham team is tired. They've been pressing them high, forcing them into mistakes. And as J.J. Williams has gone down here, the Loudoun players are being impatient. Want him to get back up. Wants to get the game going here. They want every minute of this 5 minutes left, or 4 minutes rather.
Not only is Birmingham tired, but Loudoun United's last fixture was on Friday against the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, so they should be even more fresh.
And it shows.
And it does show.
Oh, great ball.
Murphy, wrong foot, Asiedu.
That one pass eliminated about 2 lines of players from the left back position.
Di Pietro stays on his feet. Referee says play on. Elvis Amo. Bustamante was middle of the field and barking for the ball.
Yeah, he is trying to make himself available again.
Loudoun. Here's Bustamante. In for Amo. Heavy touch though. Well done from Joe Holland.
Yeah, great pressure by Birmingham, but heavy touch by Amo.
And the pressure pays off again for Loudoun. Amo able to win a corner.
Well, the pressure by Loudoun FC is stifling. As soon as Birmingham recovers the ball and tries to release on their counter-attack, Loudoun have their players marked. And I'm pretty sure Harry Hawkins is going to get right up into the mix here.
Sorto.
And it seemed to be Hawkins they were aiming for at that time.
Asiedu. Almost had it taken away by Presley. He apologized to Kasim Prosper, who was making a run deep up the field. Legs are still churning for Loudoun United.
Here comes 4 red shirts. And then Harry Hawkins cleaning up on the deep pass. Tactics work to perfection here by Loudoun.
Seems like Loudoun can do whatever they want in the middle of the field. Commentators curse in full effect there as Birmingham come away with it. Holland. Hopeful ball for Brian Wright.
Great control by Hawkins.
Sorto gives it away. Asiedu. Touched it along for Kasim Prosper. Asiedu. It's bottled up. 3 different red jerseys were swarming the number 10, or number 6 rather.
Just not enough movement ahead of Asiedu. No targets, no players pulling off of their markers, and as a result got corralled into the Loudoun FC backline.
Holland stripped from behind by Elvisimo. Sorto waiting for Loudoun to come around the bend. Finds him. Kusera out to defend.
Well, it was the right pass and right intention, but it was just so predictable that Birmingham got back and snuffed out the pass.
Ryan Wright, great ball for J.J. Williams, but he's offside.
Well, we've talked about so many times about that 1-2 punch with Brian Wright and J.J. Williams. Again, Williams just straying offside. But great vision by Brian Wright.
Loudoun for Elvisimo. Stoppage time, 4 minutes, presented to you by Ortho Virginia. J.J. Williams with the hold-up play, finding Prosper. Kasim Prosper running right at Colin Verfurth. Still trying to turn him, able to do so.
Oh, good defending in the end. Looks like by Verfurth. Prosper being adventurous, but Verfurth just picking out that turn.
Murphy flicks it along, Sorto. Time and space to settle it. Christian Sorto on the move. Wants to take it inside, but Kusera read it the entire way.
Again, great defending this time by Birmingham. Kusera. Sorto trying to use some trickery, but the big centre-back will have nothing of it.
This game is wide open at the moment.
Fatigue completely settling in here, and the game is stretched like a rubber band.
Cut in by Loudoun. Now he digs it in. One by Laurent. Only as far as Alvarez. He wants to go for it.
Well, as these players become more tired, the midfield is being stretched. So it's backs against forwards on both ends. Carlos Alvarez picking up an errant header. Tries to bend one in. And it's a couple of feet too high. But the idea was right. The execution wrong for Mr. Alvarez.
Sorto disrupted by Ward.
Great tackle by Hakeem Ward. Had nothing behind him. Had to use evasive action.
In for Bustamante. Trying to take the inside. Holland with a clean challenge. Asiedu. J.J. Williams a bit lackadaisical. Getting into it with Harry Hawkins, but Hawkins comes away the victor in that small battle.
Harry Hawkins has been perfect for 35 minutes since he's come on. Just amazing to watch.
Sorto, excellent first touch. Cross in the middle, Bustamante on the turn. No help, but goes for goal. And straight at Matt Van Oekel.
Well, Sorto has been knocking on the door on that left-hand side. He comes inside again, looking for Bustamante trailing. Here he is. Bustamante turns from the pressure, looking for the overlapping right back. It's not there, so he goes for the shot. But Van Oekel, as ever, in the right position.
Asiedu. Prosper. Good skill. What can he do with it now? Touches it along for Asiedu. Wanted to hit it. Now waiting for Hakeem Ward. Asiedu now will take it. And into the stampede.
Well, brave defending by Loudoun, just backing off Asiedu, almost daring him. He put his laces through it, but too high in the end.
Elvisimo, final 35 seconds or so. We'll see how much Torrey Penzo is going to add on to the already additional stoppage time. Alvarez. That might do it.
I think that pass had fatigue all over it. Great job by Loudoun, pressured for so long. Just starting to take effect on the players.
That's going to do it full time. Birmingham Legion keep the unbeaten streak alive. They move it to 9 games, but they share a point with Ryan Martin's crew from Loudoun United. It was an absolute battle the entire 90 minutes. J.J. Williams got the scoring started, and then right at the outset of the second half, it was Kyle Murphy with a terrific goal after skidding Mathieu Laurent. And both sides will have to settle for a point apiece as the final score is brought to you by Segra. And let's take a look at the full-time highlights, which are also brought to you by Segra. And in the early going, Ryan Davis, it was Birmingham Legion knocking on the door, and then about midway through the first half, Brian Wright would do this.
Brian Wright turns away from the pressure, splits the two defenders, and just races away, finds his partner, J.J. Williams, rolls it to him. Big man walks it in. 1-0 to the visitors against the run of play, with Loudoun United at that time possessing the game.
Well, J.J. Williams silencing the crowd, but they wouldn't be silenced for too long because watch this from Kyle Murphy. Around Mathieu Laurent, and then just a tidy little finish.
Well, the pressure was relentless in the second half. Soto finds Murphy, just turns Laurent inside out, and a beautiful finish past Van Oekel. Just classed by the number 9, Kyle Murphy, if you need him. The captain himself ties it up 1-1.
Always nice to get one from your skipper, and then a goal that would be called off. Look at the patience from Eric Avila. Picture-perfect ball for Williams, but the flag was up the entire way, and it ended up being the right call, as J.J. Williams is just half a step offside. And then basically after that, Ryan, it was all Loudoun United.
Well, Loudoun's pressure paid off. Birmingham looked out of sorts. Kyle Murphy had another chance, rounded Van Oekel, just ran out of angle, and just couldn't finish that play. That would have put the home team up 2-1, but the score stayed at 1.
Looked like Van Oekel might have even got a slight touch to it, which gave it just a bit more momentum to carry it towards the line. And here's a look at the full-time stats brought to you by Segra. Ryan, what do you see?
Well, I see the hottest team in the USL Eastern Conference, and Loudoun FC goes toe-to-toe with them. 60% possession, 14 shots to 10. Fearless Ryan Martin takes his team, brings his tactics in, and he comes out with a 1-1 draw. Great stuff by the home team, and a tough earned point by Birmingham Legion.
Well, they're still looking for their first win at Segra Field, but still a solid result against the Tom Sohn side that has been absolutely phenomenal as of late, and they continue this ridiculous run of solid form as they now make it 9 matches unbeaten. There were tricks, flicks, goals galore here at Segra Field, but it ends up being a 1-1 draw here in Leesburg, Virginia, as Orlando Sinclair, Kyle Murphy, and Loudoun United will have to settle for a point here at Segra Field yet again. For our entire crew and my broadcast partner Ryan Davis, Tyler Terrens saying so long for now and thanks for tuning in.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.